The Atlanta Falcons offensive playbook is one of the best playbooks in all of Madden 26. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down the playbook, showing you some of my favorite audibles, my favorite ways to run the scheme, and kind of some of the best tips and tricks for the Falcons playbook. Now, we're going to go right ahead and get into it. It starts out with the single back wing tight Z, as this is a good red zone type of formation. You have the 26 duo, you have the halfback dive, you have tight end attack, and you have PA drag wheel. Really good plays there. At the wing pair position, I like to use the play halfback stretch, halfback dive, tight end attack, and then I love this 26 duo. I think this is a great little three play run scheme with a decent pass off of it. They also have this single back tight Y off, kind of a unique formation in this year's game. I like to set the cheat halfback dive weak. I like to set the cheat stretch weak. And then really from there, a couple of the passes that I think are actually pretty good are the PA cheat cross here, and then the fake cheat, or I'm sorry, not the fake cheat, but the where's it at? PA post dig. Now they also have the single back tight wide flex. This formation is really good because you have wide zone, and then it also has a 0-1 trap. These combination of plays right here are really important. It helps you kind of have a good run out of a 3-by-1 type personnel. And then really the last play is kind of up to you. I'll put a jet sweep in there. Now we get into some of these I formations. Not a whole lot too crazy to break down. Their I close is kind of a standard I close. They have the I form wild close with the auto motions, which is kind of a fun little thing. You also have this slot stack. What's nice about the slot stack is you have the stretch, the ISO, and then if you wanted to, you could have a jet sweep within those runs. They also have weak H close off. I don't think this one's too crazy. It does have an auto motion within it, which is always good to have. But we're going to go ahead and get up into this pistol wing slot. So I like this formation because you have a jet touch pass, you have a zone alert bubble, you also have a halfback slam. So you have a good running set, and then you also have a nice little bubble screen attached to it. So kind of a decent thing there. They do have a pistol bunch, which is kind of a really unique formation, and it has an auto motion halfback stretch. It also has a duo run. These are really valuable runs to have. You have 4 verticals, which is always a good play to have. And then you have an auto motion play with this motion PA stretch. So kind of a really unique pistol bunch. They do have pistol bunch tied in, which is a great formation to audible to. And they actually have some cool plays in here. I like to set the speed option. I like the halfback zone run. And then you kind of, when you want to pass here, you got to have verticals. Verticals is such a good play. And then really from there, you could do a couple of different things. You could have another passing play. I personally prefer these. I just think these short quarters are so important in this year's game. So I like to set one of these as my audibles as well. Even though it's, and then you could kind of intermingle. Like if you wanted to, there's some other good plays here. This where's it at? The strong power, the halfback counter. Those are good running plays to have. So if you wanted to be a little bit more run heavy, you can obviously adjust your audibles as you see fit. Moving on to the shotgun formations here, they do have a shotgun deuce close. This formation, there's always just good stuff in it. I think one of the things they did this year is they added a lot more short corner type plays. This motion wide receiver corner is a really good play to have access to in your playbook. And then you also have an outside zone here. And then you have this play bench dig curl that has a unique short corner on that other side. So those are just some good plays to have that I think just kind of give you some unique routes that you're not going to get otherwise. And then, if you wanted to, you could have this RPO. I think this RPO is really cool because it does have a duo run basically, and then it has an RPO off of it. Wing slot offset, not something too wild. There are some kind of unique auto motion plays, but nothing too crazy here. This gun tight Y off, I love this formation. The reason why I love this formation is it actually has kind of a hidden formation within a formation. This tight Y off has essentially a hidden bunch strong. And so the audibles that you want to set here is motion mesh spot. You want to have motion slot choice and motion Y corner. These are kind of the obvious ones that you want to have here. And then this last one is really up to you because it kind of is essentially its own unique formation within it. I think just having either a tight end corner or 0-1 trap makes a lot of sense right here. The next formation they have is the tight flex. I think this formation is really good as a mix-in formation, something that you can audible to, and they actually have some really, really good plays in their single back tight Y off flex. One of the best and just a staple play is going to be this play cross. You want to have this play PA post shot, and then really from there, this last one, I really like this play inside high low. I actually don't believe in having a run from this because I love having at least one of these empty motions. I think the empty motion mesh rail is kind of the clear cut winner in that spot. So that's kind of how I set that formation up. They also have this bunch wide nasty. This is a great formation, and this was really good last year. Cheat wheel post, such a good play. It has a stock short post on the left side, which you can kind of build around that play. You've got verticals, kind of some of your basic bunch type stuff. They also have this cheat drub crosser. I don't feel like that play necessarily needs to be in the audibles, but corner out dig, you could put that play in there. The other one that I think makes kind of a run is this branch return, just because it has a stock return route. And in my opinion, in this year's game, if you can have a stock return route, it really does make kind of all the difference. The stock return routes are much better than the hot route return routes, in my opinion. So I like to have that return play in the offense. Bunch spread. This is not a formation we use a ton, but it is a formation where we can get some things accomplished. This play motion slot hitch has a short post on the left side. This play motion curl flat corner has a short corner and a stock speed out. So those are two plays I think you definitely want in your audibles. And then really this last one is kind of up to you. There's some versatility within this. You could go motion slot under with the short corner on the right side. You could also go, actually, you know what I am going to do here? Motion curl flat. I'm going to put this as motion slot under just because it also gives us a stock fade on the left and the short corners from the same receiver there. And then you don't really, there's not a whole lot else. The other thing I was going to say is the outside zone. I think that needs to be in your audibles here. And then this PA play, if you want to use the play action, you could certainly justify using a play action play. But I think really the play that makes the most sense is this play corner divide because it has a unique post route to the right side receiver. And then we get into some of the normal off close and some of the other things that they have in here. This normal Y off close week is, nothing too crazy. It is a decent formation, but it's not something, this is again a little bit more of an audible type formation. I think some of the plays you have is pivot seams is really good. PAY cross is really good. And then you really kind of get into, again, some of just like what do we want to get accomplished here at the end of the day? I like having a base run. I think base is a pretty good run. And then also red zone scissors is a decent play just because it has all that stock. Really can kind of do whatever you want with that. I think I'm going to go double post here just because of the versatility of that play. Now, as we kind of get into here now, we start to get into some of the other things that we can do from an audible round perspective that I think is really, really effective. This formation trail I flex, we have verticals with the seam streaks, we have PA crossers. We also have in here a pretty interesting way to run the ball. This RPO alert Omaha has a really good kind of RPO tagged into a run play that you can utilize. If you wanted to do any of the motion stuff, you could certainly do that within this playbook. But I think the play that makes the most sense is really going to be this, was it cross flood with the unique route to the tight end or this inside post out. Either one of these are going to be pretty decent for you. I think I'm going to just have some fun, go across flood there. Trips by slot, not a formation I use a ton. It's actually not bad. You have halfback off tackle. You have a really good four verticals with the seam streaks. You also have this high-low dig with a unique route to the middle guy that I think is really good. And then if you wanted to, you could kind of run this go double post with the unique post route on the right. You have a short corner on the right as well. Like there are some plays within this that actually make a lot of sense. But Y off trips close, this is actually U trips. And this is a full U trips here. They added this into a lot of playbooks, which I thought was a great decision. And basically, you have a couple different plays that I think you want to have when you have a U trips. You want to have tight end whip. You want to have scat. Those are two kind of staple plays. Then from there, it honestly kind of becomes a little bit more preference based. Like, for example, Wobsha Wheel makes a lot of sense to me just because it's a very easy, quick hike type of play. But I think, if you're trying to get the most bang for your buck, slot out because you have that stock fade on the left side, and then you can kind of build around that. Or if you wanted to, another play that you have in here is this play X curl, or where's the other deep slot curl. Either one of those are fine. And then the run plays, you could either go with the power run or the mid draw. Those are really the two best runs in that formation. And now we kind of get into the why you run Falcons book, and that is really for their bunch formations. So their bunch formations, they have some of the best plays in the game. Number one, they have Y curl from regular gun bunch. They have base. They have verticals. These three plays always stay right here, right? The only one that really changes would be this one. And it really is kind of dependent on, honestly, preference and what you want to do. I think it makes the most sense to go with deep corner just because this play is going to get the most amount accomplished for your offense. The next formation that I'm going to recommend here is this bunch tight end. This bunch tight end has got some kind of really unique plays in it as well. The RPO alert bubble to me makes the most sense to have in here. And then really you kind of get into like what are the routes that you really want. The draw is actually really good. But I would say that really one of the plays that you want to have here is you want to have this play boomerang. Where's that play at? Boomerang PAY wheel. You can kind of build around that with a short post and things of that nature. You have inside cross. Inside cross is a cool play. Mill slot option is also a really good play. Spacing for the stock flat. But I probably would just either put tight end corner in here or leave it like this. These are pretty versatile plays that you can kind of build around. And then their money formation, this is going to be your base formation. You're going to come out in this and run this really for the majority of the game, is their bunch offset. This, in my opinion, is the best bunch offset in the game. And the audibles you want to have, in my opinion, is the PA cheat switch comeback or the PA cheat switch dig. Either way, I'm going to probably go with the dig just because it'll be a little easier of a setup. For the run, I don't even know that you necessarily need a run in bunch, to be honest. You could just leave this inside zone, or you could run this cheat outside zone just because it has the same auto motion aspect of it, and the outside zone is a good run. I don't know. I don't know that you even necessarily need that, but I like to have. I normally like to have a run no matter what formation I'm in, and then really vert tap back under to me makes a lot of sense in that spot. And then really, other than that, I would probably say like you could kind of do a lot of different things here. I think wide trail and your audibles makes a lot of sense. So those are kind of some of the main plays there. And then that's pretty much it as far as audibles. Like I said, I'm going to probably come out in bunch every single play. And really, it's going to start with this bench pivot play. Now, the way you want to run this, and we talk about beating man coverage consistently here, this offense is going to do a really good job of being able to beat man coverage. So what you're going to do is you are going to run, if you want to beat man coverage in this bench pivot play really good, you have a running back flat, a drag to your tight end, and then a unique whip route here to the right side. You're going to see that whip route is normally going to fry man coverage. It's just going to get you consistent separation within the offense. Now, if you're enjoying this little Bills mini scheme or Bills breakdown, check out our school community. That's where you're going to get access to the full offensive and defensive ebooks that we offer for Madden and for college football. So if you want to sign up for that, that link is going to be in the description down below. Now, the other thing about this play that I really like is having these in routes and drags. Right there, we get kind of crazy cage by man coverage. Happens a lot in practice mode for whatever reason. But normally this tight end route is going to give you a pretty good chance at being able to attack man-to-man. We'll see if we can actually cross the face. There we go. And you see how that tight end route is really effective for attacking different types of man-based coverages. Another play that I really like out of this is this PA cheat dig. Couple setups for you here. First and foremost, you always want to be resetting your pass protection to base. You do that by hitting L1 and then hitting down on the left joystick. And what I like to do here, just a basic drag and then a post. So it looks like this. And then I got to reset that protection one more time. And the reason why this is so good is just because the cheat motion really messes with a lot of things in this game because of no baseline. And you're going to see that the cheat motion is going to run across. And then you are going to have kind of your backside reads here. Let's see if we can hit that tight end. Normally the drag or the posts are going to be wide open for you. The other thing that I like to do is if someone is running a lot of man coverage on me, I will typically go to this combo out of this formation, which is a drag on the left. On the with the running back, you can kind of do whatever you want. If you wanted to put the running back on a streak, if you want to put the running back on a flat, if you want to block the running back, any of those are good. But then on the right side here, we're going to put a corner route and stem him all the way down on that right side. You're going to see that that slot corner is going to take a step to the inside. And normally what that's going to do is it's going to give you pretty consistent separation on that receiver. Another way that we can really attack man coverage is doing that same exact play, but now instead of putting that guy in the corner, we're going to put the tight end on the corner and we're going to put the slot on a flat. Looks a little wonky, but what it does is it gives the tight end a lot of space to be able to work against a man coverage defender, which is super helpful when we're talking about trying to consistently attack man coverage. Another play that we have that is really good against man to man is going to be this play, trail. Couple different ways you can run this play. I think what makes the most sense is really just a tight end wheel route on the right hand side with a running back in. So it looks like that, kind of like a double post type of setup. And you're going to see that this post route is going to be pretty consistent for you if you are getting a high degree of man-to-man coverage. That is something that you're able to hit within this formation. Another thing you could do is go to your bunch tight end. Now, if I know that I'm going to go to bunch tight end, I'm normally going to come out in my bunch to the short side of the field. So to kind of illustrate that, we're going to go ahead and flip our play. And then what we would do is audible into bunch tight end. Now, as you see, we have this short post on the right side. If I stem this down, that's going to make it even more of a short post. And then what I would probably do is really just a simple, almost mesh-like combo. And you can even run, you can even run the boomerang motion. You can do whatever. But what you're going to see here is that this short post on the right side, see how he kind of cuts in front of the defender and he gets really nice separation against man coverage. So that's another option. Another thing you have in this playbook, though, because there is so many good formations in here, is you have the play cross out of tight flex. This has been one of the best man beaters in Madden for years. These two drags, one of them almost always is going to beat man coverage, and you just have a ton of ways in which you can break down man coverage. Now, another formation we have to go over, in my opinion, is this tight Y off. And the reason why is for the auto motion or the kind of unique plays within it. This auto motion mesh play is just a really, really good play. A couple different things about this play. I think in general, what I would do here on the left hand side is I would streak this left hand guy like that, and then you could really just either just pretty much basically just run this play as is. But what you're going to see here is this streak is going to clear out the deep blues, and then this little fade route is going to actually out leverage zone coverage to the outside, which is one of the reasons why I think it is so effective. Another thing that I like, and we're talking about like beating a cover two coverage, I think that this PA switch dig is very good at attacking any kind of cover two. You're going to see here that this auto motion streak is going to kind of get into a nice spot against the cover two. Now, right there, if they do give you a match like that, then what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to just simply check the ball down to the running back for easy yardage on this play. So we'll see, show that here. So you'll see here, cornerback gets real big depth. We can just check it down, and now we got blockers underneath of the defense for easy ways to attack. Another thing about this this bench return or bench pivot play is this little whip route is so good at kind of getting in a soft spot on that right side. That's going to force a lot of things from the opponent. It's going to force cover two over there to that right side, which we can then obviously manipulate with other combos. But that is, that's going to force cover two. And then when they do decide to run a cover two coverage, what I like to do from this formation is typically I'm just going to streak in corner and I'm going to stem the corner down so it looks like that. And what you're going to see here is we're just going to high-low that flat defender, and this corner just really does a good job of being able to out-leverage him to the left side. You also have verticals in this year's game, and this verticals is a good verticals. It has that running back speed in route. What's nice about that running back speed in route is that the running back speed in is going to beat man coverage consistently. So you're going to see here, if they do run man coverage, that running back speed in is one of the most effective ways in this game to be able to attack man coverage. Let's see if we can actually get a little bit better separation here. You see, if you get a nice rat catch, that's going to turn into a 15 to 20-yard gain. The other thing about this play that you can kind of build around is the fact that you have this really unique crosser that just gets a really nice. It's just the best crosser I think in the game, and so you have a really good crosser from left to right. You're going to see how it just kind of pops both man and zone coverages. Here's the zone. You see there, it just kind of really takes advantage of that zone. One of the easy ways to build around this play for zone would be to drag. Whoops, I apologize. I totally messed up my setup there. But one of the easy ways to build this play a little bit better for zone coverage would be to drag the tight end, return around the outside receiver, and then you can run a standard protection. But now you have a 3-level flood all the way across to right to left, which is really, really nice. Another thing you need in bunch, in my opinion, and these are how you can kind of start to come out in some situational plays. Another thing you kind of need in bunch, in my opinion, here is a play, for example, like you can do it at a dig return, but I think flood makes the most sense. But it's just a play with a stock tight and flat. And the reason why this is so important is because this is going to allow you to streak the inside guy, corner the outside guy, stem him down like that. And now you have the ability to really flood that bunch side with these stem down corners, these flats. This tight end flat from flood, it always runs really, really well. The little out route also gets into a nice little spot, especially like let's say you're playing cover 4 hard flat. This flood out route is really, really good this year because it gets into, you'll see, kind of gets into like a soft spot of the zone if it's cover 3, cover 4. And then from a man-to-man perspective, the other thing we forgot to mention is from like a man-to-man perspective, this flat can sometimes just pop man coverage, like just quick. You see how you get a nice rack catch animation, and you're able to, kind of put that, in a position to be able to succeed. So anyway, there's that play. If you want to cover 3 beater out of bunch this year, I really like wide trail, kind of a new combo. We're going to curl the solo receiver, streak and drag. So it looks like this. The curl holds the third pretty well this year as we got randomly matched coverage by 49 there. Let me try to show that one more time. We'll actually just we'll do a comeback. You can do the comeback too. Where was I at? Wide trail. And we'll just do a comeback route. And what you'll see here is you have a high-low with that comeback. And if you wait on this, you see how that post can kind of just pop cover 3 in a really unique spot. Now, what a lot of people like to do is they love to run cover 3 or cover 4 hard flat on the left side. And this is where we also have the ability to audible in a bunch and use this play wide curl. The way that I like to run wide curl is simply streaking the tight end and then just snapping the ball quick. What you're going to see here is this seam. It can be user caught kind of in the middle of the zone coverage. So it kind of puts zone in a difficult position. You'll see here, kind of throw it right. Josh Allen just got shedded. Let's see if we can actually show you this route. So you'll see here. I mean, really, and if the flat's going to back up like that, let's just throw the running back. Let's just throw the running back. Let's just make them have to defend the running back. That is one way to get after them. And then if you go wide curl, let's say they go cover 2, they try to play the running back a little bit more. You'll see how you can kind of user catch this in late in the play. I think that's one of the best user catch base routes that you can have. The other thing that I didn't get into yet too far is they have this U-trips. And so easy combos out of U-trips. One of my favorite combos for attacking kind of cover 4 hard flat is a corner and a running back streak. And what you'll see is this corner will actually pop that quarter consistently on that left-hand side. Another good combo out of this U-trips formation is going to be tight end whip again. But this time it's going to be kind of a double in variation. And the reason I like this setup is just because it creates a really nice high-low read over the middle of the field. And that post really gets into a nice soft spot against the defense. The other thing about Atlanta playbook is if you come over here, you also have the bunch wide nasty with cheat wheel post that has a cheat wheel to the running back, which is really, really good. And then it also has the ability here. All we have to do is just drag and return route on the right, and we're pretty much set up. And what you're going to see here is that running back cheat motion is really good, but then you have that nice short post that can actually beat man-to-man coverage consistently within this Falcons playbook. So those are some of the best formations. As I said, you also have this trips, which is kind of an underrated formation. And the reason why you have this little post here, and this guy on the left side, he actually is a solo receiver. So what you're able to do is you could just do something like that on the left-hand side. But take a look at kind of how that short post cuts. It's more like just a sharp cutting route. So it's going to do good against man. It's going to do good against zone, and it's going to give you opportunity to have success. Some of the other money plays, if you will, from bunch is going to be the spacing switch play. What's really cool about this is if they hard flat on the left side, it's not going to stop this flat. You see the hard flat's going to freeze, and I can just abuse that table route and throw that again and again and again on this left side. If it's cover 4, cover 3, it's just a free, easy table route. And then this is where, it gets interesting because now they're going to say, okay, well, my counter to that is I'm going to man up this table route. Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to drag our tight end, and then we can really do whatever on the right side here. What you're going to see is this tight end drag really gets in a nice soft spot against the cover 4. So you just have some really good ways. Obviously, if they curl flat or anything, that's not going to cover it too well either. As you can see, we're able to still out leverage them to the flat for easy yardage. And again, this play doesn't look like much, but it's actually really, really good. One of my favorite setups from this play is actually to do something like this. The drag is still going to have that same effect. That flat will guard the drag. As you see, he sits on the drag for a minute, and then I can just throw that table route consistently. The other thing about man coverage I forgot to mention is when you run this play, this can beat man because he has a little bit more of a cut to his route. He didn't beat him that well that way, but it does have potential to be able to pop man coverage. Then you go into bunch where you have deep corner. What I like to do with this deep corner is really just a simple, simple speed out, stem it all the way down, and then a tight end streak, backside drag like this. And what you're going to see is that this short corner gets in a really, really, really soft spot of the defense. Let me actually just show a little bit better there. But you go out route, stem down, streak, backside drag. And then what you're really looking for is that corner gets into a soft spot. I got to get a little better of a bend on that ball. But you see what a lot of this really comes down to is you kind of force them to have to play cover 2 on the bunch side. And then when they do play cover 2 on the bunch side, there's some ways that you can manipulate it with, kind of deeper corner routes and things like that. But really these short corners, as you see right there, I mean, look at that outside corner, just ignore him on that right-hand side consistently. Now, if you do get cover 2, a couple things here real quick. So if you do get cover 2 on the bunch side, this play verticals. Let's just take a look at this little wheel route on the right. You're going to see here that it can be thrown. It's a tight throw. It's a little bit later of a read than it's been. But another thing about verticals that's kind of cool is if you get, let's say, cover 4, you can just quick throw these vertical wheel routes if they're not playing hard flats. And honestly, sometimes they are. So, like, let's say, for example, we play verticals. You can motion this guy out because there's no baseline. That slot corner stays super tight. And so it's hard for him to make that play. Like, that was a hard flat. It's hard for the hard flat to be able to get out there consistently, against a bunch set. Another really easy way to pop any kind of cover 2 on the bunch side is to use just a deep corner route with a tight end streak or something like that. And then the other play that I was going to go over with you guys is just smash return. The reason why I like this is because this return route is really, really good. And you can do a couple different things. So, for example, like if they're getting me a lot of cover 2, I might go with a play like this. And what you'll see here is if it is cover 2, that corner is going to pop cover 2. It's also going to get in a soft spot against cover 4. So, anyway, it's just one of the better corner routes in the game. And then, you're able to just attack kind of the soft spots here. As you see, There's cover two. He just runs right over the top. They're going to have to switch stick to that. And then if they switch stick to that, that's where, you're able to start to hit things like this little return route, right? Pulls those yellows back, and then you're able to check it down to your return route. Another play that we didn't really get too far into here, if we come back over to this tight flex, if we go to empty motion mesh rail, all we're going to do is we're going to slot fade this guy on the right. The cool part about this play is, it's basically just a hidden 5 wide formation. I like to stem this corner down, and then I really just leave the drags kind of check down routes. But I like that because in an audible type of sense, it's actually a really good route. And you see here, it can kind of get over top of cover two. If we didn't get that match on the right side, it would have popped cover two. Obviously, could have just taken a check down read there. Another thing about cover two is if you're getting a lot of it, especially on that bunch side, you go to something like this where now we're going to really attack vertically. And then what you get here is this, seam streak, able to pop cover two in the seam area of the field. So there's a lot of ways to start to kind of take advantage of cover two once they start to consistently call it. It's just a matter of obviously, paying attention to that. The other thing about this tight Y off is you have this motion slot choice play. It has a really nice slot fade route here to the left. Really what I would do is just what I like to do is a tight end drag, a post, and I'm going to stem that post down at least one so it's a little sharper. And you're going to see this is kind of that same idea, just kind of attacking that left sideline within this formation. And then the other thing about this formation is if you go over to the play, let's see what it's actually called here, motion slot choice, or I'm sorry, I called the wrong play. If you go over to the play motion right corner, you see how it has a stock tight end short corner. It also has like a stock little kind of underneath post route that gets in a soft spot of the field. So what I like to do when running this play is I'm going to speed out this kind of backed off guy, stem him down, and then I am going to run a clear out streak or a clear out fade. So it looks kind of like that. And you'll see that this does a good job of kind of flooding that trip side. So you're able to flood the two sides. And then the other thing that you can do here in this formation that I think is actually pretty good, and it's a good audible to have with, some of the other stuff that we're talking about here, is if you go to motion mesh spot, you can just streak the running back. You can flat or speed out, this outside guy like this. And then on the left side now, we have, we're able to just attack vertically in a kind of a variety of different ways. And then you have that little, kind of fade that does a really good job of being able to attack cover four, especially if you can get that catch like that. So anyways, there's that. And then if you want to run the ball, you have the ability to go down into your pistol bunch tight end. If I can find the formation. The other one that I really like, this is my favorite under center run out of a formation like this, is this single back tight wild flex, utilizing this wide zone run. This wide zone run is really pretty decent in my opinion. And then if you wanted to go to like a pistol bunch tight end, you have the ability to go to that as well within this. So I just feel like the audible around formations got a lot better in this formation than it did last year. The other thing about the bunch tight end is it automatically puts that bunch tight end to the short side, which is really, really good. The other thing that I was going to say about pistol bunch tight end or bunch tight end in general is you need to be going to this bubble, because when you audible to the bubble, it's short side. The slot corner might get stuck on the other side if they're not paying attention. And this is one of the best bubble screens, in the entire game. So you have the ability to score pretty much from all areas of the field. One of my favorite things, and again, what I love about this offense, it's just so good because of the fact that it's all in that 11 personnel that you can do all of this stuff. Like you can do all of this kind of stuff from this 11 personnel, which I think is really, really good. You have a quarterback wrap run, which, I mean, that has to be like one of the best short yardage runs in this game. You also have a, if you go to, where is that actually at? If you go to the pistol bunch tight end here, you have, your speed option. What I like to do, flip it, run it to the bunch side. And, then we're just going to see if we're going to run it with the quarterback or we're going to pitch it to the back. You got that option, and then you also, like I said, I love this halfback zone run. This halfback zone run is super hard to consistently shoot it, and it's going to be a good run down there in the red zone for you. And then if they're coming out in any kind of more heavier based defense, then you can get into some of your like stretches. Which from the pistol bunch, you have this kind of auto motion stretch run, which is kind of a cool run here because they're going to think, oh no, he's running auto motion. Oh no, he returns back. And now we're just running stretch within that as well. As far as red zone combos, what I like, if we're talking about a red zone combo, really probably the best red zone combo from this playbook is either the spacing switch stuff because maybe they're playing cover three hard flat, but what most people are going to do down here in the red zone is they're going to play, some type of either cover zero or they're going to play, cover two. And really, I think one of the best routes is going to be this zig as I get yelled at there. This bench pivot play, right? Just this bench pivot play, super simple, but it is really, really good. As you can see, that tight end route just gets into a soft spot, and then the zig off of it. Like these are just really good plays here or there. I just should have thrown that a little bit earlier into the play. Wasn't paying attention, but anyways, this is the Falcons bunch, and this is probably if you just want to run like the basic bunch stuff, the good old fashioned bunch offset, some of the old school bunch plays. That's what Atlanta's for. But it also they added a lot of stuff to this playbook this year that made this better even outside a bunch and also made this better if you want to audible into some other formations. So I think Falcons is a really, really good book. Again, if you want to learn any of my full offensive or defensive ebooks, it's in our school community, and that link is in the description down below.